Welcome to the Poor Listeners Program. Welcome aboard, everybody. Thanks for checking us out this week. What up, everybody? I'm Spear. On the mics for me this week is the Z-Man. What's up, Z?
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man a moan. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when. We'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.
Okay. All right, then. On the other mic is the mighty Gantor. What's up, Gantor?
Hey, did you miss me?
We missed you, buddy.
Definitely missed you.
That's sweet. You guys are sweet.
We missed you.
We're sweet on you.
Oh, could we have a hug?
We love you, pal.
Dude, I wish you were here. If you were here, buddy, I'd give a hug.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
What I miss? Anything? What's new with you guys?
I uncorked the mom joke.
Spear had a mom joke.
I uncorked the mom joke, and I'm on Facebook strike. So week one of the Facebook strike.
So who
that's
posted
good
the
to know.
So who posted the show?
What's that?
So who posted the show? Because I thought you were going to have me do it.
That was it. That was my last official act.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So the strike started.
That
I was
was
going
my
to say
last-
your strike lasted 3 minutes.
My last official act was to post the last show. Now I'm done. I haven't
All right,
touched
all right.
Facebook since.
I actually checked
While
on him. I checked on him. He has not posted anything. Are you on Google Plus though, right?
No, I have not checked Google Plus, nor have I've checked the Facebook.
So my brother went on a silent strike one time, I guess. Do you know what I mean?
But not just not talking to people.
Yeah, he was going to not talk. He lasted like 4 hours. Like, dude, I broke your record last night when I went to bed. You couldn't even make it a whole day.
All right, this week, something must be done about work-life balance. And I got started on this listening to sports radio over the course of the past few weeks. So there is the Eagles now have a new cornerback by the name of Cary Williams, fresh off of the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens. And the Eagles have a new coach, Chip Kelly. And they were over the course of the last few weeks, they were in the midst of their OTAs, which are organized team activities. They're voluntary workouts, voluntary team workouts that are actually kind of a pre-training camp type of thing, so people can come in and start learning the offense and start getting used to new things. Cary Williams missed one of the recent OTAs because he went to his daughter's dance recital. And this caused all kinds of uproar for two reasons. The first is that he missed a practice. And
No, the first is because Philly fans are assholes.
well, all right, so there's that. But all right, a few weeks previous to this, he missed another team activity for his honeymoon. So this guy has missed. He has had his personal life. I mean, we're talking relatively big life events here. The guy's honeymoon. A dance recital, his daughter's first dance recital. I mean, these are things that you normally want to pay attention to, as part of your life. This guy's personal life has interacted with or interjected with his professional life, and everyone went fucking crazy. What say you?
I say good for him.
I say fuck him. That's his job. Do it.
You know what's not going to be around in 3 years? Probably him, because that's the average career of an NFL player. So
Right,
good for him for being at important things in his life, like his daughter's dance recital and his honeymoon.
No, it's just the opposite. What you just said. He's got 3 years. He's got to fucking do his job and do it right. After 3 years, then you go to your daughter's dance recital and do the other stuff because you're not going to be able to get a job doing anything else.
Nah.
You're paid to play. You're paid to practice. You're paid to do the work that your team's doing. You're paid to make sure that you actually can fucking catch a damn ball.
Yeah, but see, you can't go back in time and redo that stuff. And plus, if he's either good enough to last however many years longer than 3, or he's not, in which case, not a big deal. One practice isn't going to change anything.
You don't think any other players got the same situation and would not have done what he did?
Who was it that was it Champ Bailey that was potentially going to miss a playoff game because of his daughter?
I'm sure Champ
You remember
Bailey
who
is
that
one
was?
of many professional football players that would have missed a game because of their daughters, or their daughters being born, or their sons being born.
Was that playoff? I thought that was playoffs.
There's a big difference between your honeymoon and your daughter being born. And your honeymoon doesn't even count. You fucking schedule your life properly. Your honeymoon shouldn't be anywhere near the season. That's why you have the off season.
I agree with that. I mean, you got to figure that OTAs were over And they had at least 2 or 3 weeks, or even longer than that. They had the rest of the summer before training camp started, so you could have easily have rescheduled your honeymoon to coincide with the time that you actually had off.
Yeah.
You could have said, "No, honey, we can't go on our honeymoon this weekend."
I mean, it's the same thing as if you're in school. You're in school when you're getting married. You do it during your break.
You guys are you sound like management.
So here's the thing. I agree with Seth. I agree with Ganthor, and I hate that because it makes me crazy. I would have made this argument for Ganthor every time until you said that the guy is a professional athlete for exactly the reason that Z brings up. This guy has a shelf life. I mean, he's got to be good at his job for as long as he can actually do his job, which isn't going to be a long time.
You know what? We're talking about practice.
So is it okay for them to miss a preseason game because it's just a preseason game?
Not a game.
No, but where's the line?
Not a game. We're talking about practice.
We're talking about voluntary practice, too, at that.
Yeah, see?
It's a
you guys make a big deal out of nothing. And you know, if that extra day does matter, well, he can not take a day off later in the year and practice extra then. How about that?
But you can't just practice extra on your own. You're a part of a team. Like, everyone's expecting you to be there to be a part of a team.
You guys are straight up management. Straight up.
I mean, but so I'm
not going to tell you don't have to wear 37 pieces of flair, but because that's what you're saying.
I'm saying you're part of a team. If the expectation is that the team is there and you are able to be there, meaning that you're not injured or you're not getting surgery or what have you, you have to be there with the team. Now, look, I say this knowing that if my kid had something to do, I would try to make it work with my job so that I could be there for that event. But for some strange reason, I find that to be different. Now, granted, I'm part of a team at work, right? I mean, company has, different teams. My group is a team. But I don't feel the same. I'm not compelled to act the same way I would or put the same standards I would on a professional athlete.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about that as well. How to justify that.
Like if it was my kid's recital or concert or whatever, I would make it a point to be there. If somebody was telling me you needed to work that weekend, I would say, okay, but for these 3 hours, I'm not available.
Well, that's because you're not. I mean, while you are part of a team of people in your thing, they're not dependent upon you to do their job. They can still do their job within your absence, and you can do your job in their absence.
I mean,
except this Eagles cornerback.
I know there's a bit of hypocrisy here. Okay, I'm not naive to it. It's a double standard. I'm not applying the same standard that I would to a professional athlete, and maybe it's because I just think that the team concept is, needs to be more strongly enforced for a professional athlete.
It's probably also like the whole thing where the professional athletes shouldn't go around killing people and raping people and stuff too. But
nobody should really do that.
Yeah, but it's for them. It's okay though. They can just
Yeah, they get away with that so much easier.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ginther. What do you think?
So maybe that's the trade-off.
What's the trade-off?
You go and you miss your kid's recital so that when you need to, you can rape somebody.
Okay.
That's the lesson I'm learning here.
Holy shit, what the fuck's got into you?
Show's over, I guess.
All right, what do we learn?
Yeah, can't really top that. Is a knocker here at your door, Z?
What do you think? What do you think over there, Ganthor? What happens?
I couldn't wholeheartedly disagree with you assholes more. That's what I think.
Well, all right. What do you think about if it's you and if your daughters have something middle of the week or on the weekend, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're finding a way to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, I would be there. I would do whatever I had to for my kid. And if my boss ever turned around and said to me, "I need you here for this thing," I can't. I have to go to my son's thing. No, you can't go to your son's thing. That's when I start looking for a new job.
See, that's the thing. Your life is about life, not work.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's like some employers don't get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. That's a big problem with this country. Some employers don't even like it when you take your vacation.
Well, there's never a good time for anybody to take vacation, right? The sky is always falling.
Which should devolve into, well, then you just do it whenever.
Right.
Right? But no, you get that whole, they frown on you. Technically, you've got vacation, but Need you to not do it. No, it's bullshit. Fuck you.
The other thing about taking vacation is that you don't ever really take a vacation. People take their iPhones or their Blackberries or what have you. Some people take their laptops with them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do that just to be prepared, and then just so I'm not surprised when I get back to work on Monday morning and I find out that the office has burned down, or
So have you ever cracked open your laptop to answer email or even look at email while you're on vacation?
Yeah, I've done that.
So that's crazy.
I do that because my work email goes to my I guess I could turn off that on my phone, but my work email goes to my phone, so I check my email. I check that too.
I carry 2 phones because I want to be able to separate. I want to be able to put my work down and go on with my life. Right? That's how I maintain work-life balance.
So you got one of those IT guy belts? You gotta fucking put your holsters on in the morning.
No,
he totally does.
I can't rock a holster. They just
with this gigantic Android phone.
Why don't you kiss my ass there, Ganthor? The Android phone goes in my pocket. I tried rocking the iPhone on a holster, and I just can't do that. So now it just goes in my other pocket. No, they go in my pocket. And when I go on vacation, the BlackBerry or the iPhone gets put into a drawer or into a deep dark corner where I can't see it. I can't look at it. I don't even take it with me. If it runs out of charge, oh well.
You're funny.
Like the other day, my boss. So my boss is a little nuts, okay? My boss goes on vacation the other day. I guess he was on a long drive somewhere with his family. He took 4 calls while he was in. No,
wow. If I was his wife, I'd smack him.
He took
calls. His wife's probably banging the pool boy.
Yeah, right. I mean, he took calls all day long, all day.
That's just rude to your family.
That's rude to your family, and that's not a vacation.
No, this is what professional life has become. There's very little way to separate your work from your life. It's just your work life or your life work, and people don't know how to. It's like you don't work to live, you live to work.
Yeah. $10 says your boss's kids are the kind that come to dinner with their headphone buds still in their ear. Yeah. And just eat and then leave, and they don't ever talk to anybody.
Right.
Because dad's always on his phone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be wonderful when they're older.
I mean, it's brutal, and I try really hard not to do that. Right. I mean, it's hard sometimes because I'll come home and I'll be just beat to shit, and here's my kid coming at me, just bouncing up and down. I'm like, oh my God, I can't possibly deal with you right now, but I have to because here you are.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it because I come home from work and there's days I'm just I'm drinking. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, dude, I still do that. I've had 2 or 3 beers tonight already.
So that's a good work-life balance.
It certainly helps.
If you didn't have kids by now, he would have had 6.
I'm gonna drink to make your idiocracy seem more tolerable.
6 doesn't sound like a bad idea.
But I mean, do you get like that, Ganthor? Like you'll come home from work and here come your kids running at you, and you're like, oh God.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to find a me time where I just can sit down and just stare at a TV or just read a book or just lay down and do whatever. But that's also the price you pay when you get a kid.
Yeah.
That is an expensive price.
Yeah.
You're telling me, dude.
It comes at cost, no doubt.
Holy shit.
No doubt. So Ganthor, do you have any problems ever balancing work and life? Do you have does your job give you shit?
Actually, the opposite, I think. At least right now. So yesterday, this guy, I guess he's not really my boss, but he's superior in some sense. You know what I mean? He had to do a phone screen. Well, no, he had to do an interview. And he also had his kids, kung fu black belt test or whatever that he wanted to go to.
Right on.
So I covered for him. It's just yeah, dude, I understand. Go watch your kid do whatever.
Good for you, Ganthor. Way to pick up for the rest of your team there.
See, thanks, buddy.
That's a good job by you.
I even would have done that for you.
No, you wouldn't.
I totally would have. I'd have busted your balls for it all the time.
Yeah, you see, so you're not really helping me out at that point then.
Well, would you have gotten to go home or not?
No, I would have, but I would have paid for it later.
Yeah, right. Dude, no, there's no such thing as a free lunch. You know that.
You don't think Ganthor's gonna fucking hold this guy up next time? He's gonna be like, oh, dude, you remember that time I covered for you while you went to your thing? Yeah, I gotta see a guy about a thing too. So
yeah. See?
It's like It's sunny out right now, and I got to go.
I'm not saying my motivations were pure. I'm just saying I did it.
Yeah, you're just banking that favor for
Yeah,
later.
in the end, the credit's still the same, whether I did it with
Ulterior motive.
yeah, whether I did it with that in mind or not.
How about you, Z? You have any problems with this shit at work?
No, because I work when I want to work, and I don't work when I don't want to work. The only time it gets annoying is we got deadlines coming up, and I actually have to go into the office and put in like a 35-hour week. It's kind of annoying.
Oh my God. Complain about 35-hour week.
35-hour week, dude. I'm averaging 55. I mean,
that's your own fault. Why did we not start off the show with that?
so my problem is that
55?
so the last few weeks I've had these late ass meetings where the meetings start at 4 and they end at 8 p.m.
So you use Outlook to do meeting requests?
Yeah.
There's a button on it that says decline.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You can. You can push it.
You totally can.
No, I can't do that because my boss and his boss are in the meetings. So it's not like I can just say, yeah, I can't come.
Okay, then do this. Right now, schedule a reoccurring appointment for 5 o'clock, and you're busy from 5 to 8.
So I used to try to do that at my last job where from 12 to 1, I would book a recurring appointment and block it out. Because as far as I'm concerned, lunch is sacred.
Yeah.
The hour between 12 and 1 p.m. is sacred.
And you should also have another one at about like 2:30 to 3 where you have like some bathroom time scheduled.
I usually do that in the morning.
Really? Oh, I always get it. I'm an after lunch guy.
I see. I'm a morning guy right after my first coffee.
See, the morning is for the internet news. Find out what's happening and what happened that day.
So that's usually while I'm doing my personal time.
Well, if you did it right, you could do it at both times.
That's what I'm saying. I'm surfing on my smartphone.
No. What I mean is you surf when you get in the morning, and then in the afternoon when you take a dump, you get to do it all over again.
Well, you see, with the coffee I have in the morning acts as kind of a getting the butt lava flowing.
Get the lead out, if they will.
Yeah.
As you will.
Did you just say butt lava?
Yeah. Is that what I get? I got that from him last week. That's what I get.
Butt lava.
That's what I get.
I like that. I'm trying to think of a way to turn it around on you somehow.
Yeah, well,
I can't.
You keep working on it. But I used to do that. I had the 12 to 1, and then I would get meetings. It didn't matter whether or not it said I was busy or out of the office. It didn't matter. People would book 12 o'clock meetings. I'm like, what the fuck?
So you decline.
You can't decline them, though.
I can decline them.
I did, however. The one time I had this recurring 3-time-a-week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 to 1 meeting. And I remember looking at the person who organized the meeting. I walked in, and there was one other person there, and there was nobody else. And I'm like, I refuse to come back to this meeting unless 2 conditions are met. 1, every other stakeholder is here in this meeting, and 2, lunch is provided. Because so help me God, if I come back to this and either I'm not fed or there's nobody here, I'm going to go crazy on all of you.
Yeah. See, I just find it disrespectful of people to schedule this kind of meetings because that's what happens with us too. They're like, oh, we can't find a common time where anybody can come, so we're just going to start scheduling 8 o'clock meetings or 6 p.m. meetings.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, those are not options. If you can't find a time, then you can't find a time. People have to make sacrifices or change their schedules around.
Reprioritize things.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's my boss and his boss are kind of like muckety-mucks. They're bigwigs. And their schedules are already totally, fucked. So they schedule these late-ass meetings because that's when they can do them.
Dude, if it's an important enough meeting for all that, it's important enough to make it happen during normal work hours.
For 4 hours, though, it's hard to find 4 hours where all these people come together. I mean, that's what we're saying.
Obviously, it's not important enough.
Well, that's the thing.
Am I wrong?
What the hell are you guys fucking talking about for 4 straight hours?
Stuff.
What else do you do during the day that's more important than this super important meeting that has to last till 8 p.m.?
Other stuff.
Yeah. You gotta get your priorities right.
It's all stuff.
They got 8 hours of your time.
It's all stuff.
You know what? You're almost effectively taking a 50% pay cut.
That's exactly what you're doing, dude.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And you're just bending over and taking it like a champ.
I get a really good bonus.
Do you?
Yeah.
That just bring you back up to your salary that you negotiated in terms of effective hourly rate.
That bonus is not. It's not a 50%
Bonus isn't that
bonus.
big.
It's not a 50% bonus. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, see, dude,
So you're getting jacked.
you're enabling that terrible Terrible behavior.
Yeah, but I don't work on my vacation.
So my company's trying to do this thing where they like do happy hours every other week, and I work in a company of like 7 people.
Well, that's
And
nice.
because I don't actually work in my office for the most part, I only work there like once or twice a week. It's like I have to go drive in to go drink with these guys when I could just go home and drink with either my my girlfriend or go out and drink with my boys. Like, why would I want to do that? Because I get a free beer or two? It's not worth it.
So this is one of those, like, this is the obligation thing, right? I mean, like, if there are times where I feel like I'm obligated to work hours because the rest of the team is working, it's the same kind of thing, right? It's like peer pressure, Oh, well, we're all going out for a couple of beers together. I'm like, I can't drink with coworkers.
Yeah, I got a family. I got a kid I'd like to see before he goes to bed.
But then if you don't
I got
show up,
2 kids I want to see before I go to bed.
right? But then if you don't show up, it's like, oh well, Spear didn't show up. He's not
Part of the team.
He's not a part of the team.
Well, and the other thing is especially for you guys, I don't know how you're supposed to do it legally because you're drinking and you have to go drive home. At least for me, I can walk home after I go to my happy hour.
But look, I don't drink with coworkers. Full stop. I have never like had more than one beer with coworkers.
So you just like get one and you kind of nurse it the whole night?
That's it.
But then it's kind of dumb because like if I'm going out to drink, I'm out to drink to get drunk. I'm not out to drink because I like to drink. So for me to go out and just socially just drink one beer, I don't think I would enjoy that very much. I'd rather just go do something else.
Right, and you don't really want to be drunk around your coworkers, right? Because then it's like if you do some shit that's embarrassing, which has a tendency to happen when you get drunk, see?
It happens.
You don't want that with your coworkers. That's, you have to keep a certain level of professionalism there.
For me and my coworkers, they already know me pretty well because I've worked with them for enough time to know that that's a normal thing. But for me to work with, like, if that would have happened with clients, that would not be acceptable.
Oh, absolutely not. So I don't do that. The obligation thing is always hard, because you feel like you're obligated to do something at work, and nobody ever really turns around and says, you know what, dude, it's cool. You don't have to, Nobody ever does that.
Yeah. But then you just come up and make up a lame excuse. And you just be like, oh, I can't. My girlfriend's dance recitals tonight.
The dance recital.
So going back to your excuses.
Yeah, the dance recital. Yeah, but your girlfriend, you have to use your girlfriend at that point.
Right, because I don't have kids.
Yeah, it's my nephews. You make up nieces and nephews at that point.
Yeah.
I've killed off aunts, uncles, grandparents. I've killed them all off.
Oh, you've been to all their funerals, right? I haven't used the funeral card yet.
I've killed off plenty of family members, especially for like interviews. Oh, I can't come in today. I've had a death in the family. Oh, really? I'm so sorry. What was it? Oh, it was my grandmother. Rest her soul. She was, lived to a ripe old age. If I have to go back for a second interview, I have a death in the
My
family.
other grandmother. Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah, this time it's my aunt. Tragic for the family.
Yeah, see, no, I'm not. That's just bad mojo. That's bad mojo. You can't talk about people dying.
Yeah,
dude, what is wrong with you?
I kill off everybody. Fuck them.
You're a terrible person.
I am. Evidently, so says Ross Seidman.
Yeah.
What was I? Soulless?
Yeah, he went off you pretty hard, man. I'm not even sure where half that shit came from, but I like that he was supporting me and bashing you.
What was I? I am apparently a bitter, salty, uncaring, miserable person.
I think that my favorite part about it is thinking about how much time Ross spent putting that together. Like, cause that seriously was a epic.
It's like 3
posting.
pages long.
Yeah. I mean, he spent some time. That was definitely not something off the cuff that he typed out while he was taking a dump.
No, apparently he was typing it out while he was listening to the show. Because he says it towards the end. He says, FYI, I was writing this while listening. So it took him a good 20 minutes to write this thing.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
All right, what did we learn?
I don't know. What did we learn? You started, Z. What did we learn?
I don't know. I said what I learned already. I can't remember what it was, though.
What did you learn, Ginthor?
How terrible you are as a person.
There's no learning here.
That's true.
That's fucking fantastic. What do I learn? I learned that there seems to be a double standard between professional athletes and the rest of the rest of the world there. The same standard you hold a professional athlete to, be there, do your job, be with your team, doesn't seem to be applicable to, the rest of the professional world. And I don't know whether or not that's right or wrong. So if you think that professional athletes should be held to a higher standard, why don't you go ahead and posted on the Facebook page, facebook.com/4listeners or 4listeners.com. Check out the show on the Stitcher Radio or on the iTunes. Just search for 4 Listeners and we'll pop right on up. Thank you for checking us out this week, and we hope you'll check us out again next week. Thanks.
You know what else pops right up?
We're gonna have a good time there.